Hello, YouTube. Welcome to another live recording of Are You Green, the daily stock market podcast. I'm very excited to be recording with you guys live on YouTube. Please feel free to utilize the chat, ask me any questions you have. We're going to go over some of the top news for the day, even though there wasn't much exciting happening. And then we'll go over my personal trades. So let's go ahead and press record and dive right in. Hello, traders and friends. Welcome to the Are You Green podcast. Today is Tuesday, December 8th. I'm really excited to be trading with you guys today since the S&P is at record highs. There is just so much excitement and optimism in the market, but be careful out there. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Right now, the S&P 500, as just mentioned, the SPY, is at a record high. The XLK indicator, the technology sector, is green, also trading pretty high at this hour as the markets are looking to close. The Dow Jones is up, the NASDAQ is up. So things are looking very green. And of course, the question everybody wants to know about my personal account, are you green? Yes, I am very green today. It was a really exciting day. Not only did I go ahead and sell some of the remaining swings I had, but I doubled down on a new swing trade, DADA, D-A-D-A, as well as just seeing some of the turn on some of my older swings. It was very exciting. The market with all of this news with the vaccine is just raging, and people are wondering, when is this going to end? We're used to a lot more up and down. Recently, we've seen so much optimism and so much up. So, I wanted to really find out what investors are saying about the long term and what we can expect. So we'll talk about that on the news, as well as some updates on the vaccine. We'll go over some of the top movers today. It's insane. You will not believe what happened with SFIX. And then we'll go into those details for the personal trades. So stay tuned. And thank you guys so much for those of you on the live trade. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Are You Green Podcast. There you can direct message me and ask me any questions you might have. Tell me about your swing trades. I love having that dialogue there. I have to mention a disclaimer. I'm not licensed. You make your trades at your own risk, etc., etc. But, there's the closing bell. But I do follow a very strict trading strategy, a pivot strategy. So that being said, I feel very confident in my own trades, but I'm always excited to hear about what strategies you guys are working on. And again, just message me there and we'll talk. So let's dive back into the cast. Today, optimistic news about the vaccine hit when the UK vaccinated their first patient. I'm not gonna lie, this video was so cute. It was a 90-year-old woman getting vaccinated. She was really excited to be the first. I don't know how she handled this situation. There were like a bajillion cameras flashing. She was truly a celebrity. The second person vaccinated, I thought was pretty funny, was William Shakespeare. He's also an 80-year-old resident in the UK, has a big social media following. So it was a very exciting day. And that being said, it definitely kicked off the markets with a high. Today, we saw record levels of the S&P 500. So investors are asking, obviously there's a lot of optimism around the vaccine and hope that, the economy will recover very strong in 2021. But is this realistic? So across the board, as always, when you look at financial investors and their comments, they are, all over the place, and no one is ever truly right 100% of the time. That's kind of the fun about trading in the financial markets. So some investors do believe that we are going to see a market pullback. And at that point, they're saying, this could be a really great opportunity to buy. Other investors are saying that we have a lot of pent up demand from quarantining, from this pandemic. So we're going to see a lot of that demand result in higher profits down the line in 2021. We are expecting more and more as the numbers come out with the vaccines for first vaccines to be available in April. I'm talking about like to the general public. And then they're expecting a lot of the general public to be vaccinated by the end of June. So this is sooner than, I think I even anticipated. And again, this news is just propelling the markets forward. That being said, after reviewing all of these investors' strategies and opinions about the market, I would just say to, again, just stick to what you're seeing with the charts. You don't want to be a, sheep who's just following people around and following this investor and following that investor. You really need to come up with your own strategy. You need to read the charts. And I personally like to react to the market. So instead of, anticipating that this stock is going to go up, I'm going to buy here. Everyone's buying, it's on the way up. And then, I can cash out at the top. That is a strategy and people do that all the time. However, I would rather, watch what huge emotional moves happen and then profit off of those. So for those of you who are new to the Are You Green podcast, I do follow a pivot strategy and we'll go into that a little bit later on. So let's first look at the top movers in the market. Today was a crazy day for SFIX. The ticker is SFIX. When I look at a huge gain like this, 40% for a ticker that I often day trade, I'm like, oh, I wish I was holding that right now, but I'm not. And the ticker did go up 40%. That being said, I would consider shorting this ticker. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my charts right now. For those of you watching on the live stream, I do want to figure out a way where I can show you the charts while I stream. So that is in the works. But anyways, based on, the growth that I've seen with this chart, I do think a good point to short would have been this morning around 52. Obviously, it's down to 49. I did look, and unfortunately, it came up as like hard to borrow. I think that's because of the volume on this ticker. So I didn't have the shares to short it. Again, that's why shorting is not a main strategy of mine because, first of all, it can be a little risky, but most of the time, a lot of the strategies that I see and I'm like, yes, I'm actually ready to short this ticker, the shares are not available to borrow. So for those of you who are beginning at trading, obviously you can buy low, sell high, but you can also sell high and anticipate that it's going to drop to that lower price. So basically it's called shorting. You borrow the shares at the higher price and then, somebody buys them at that lower price and then you get that difference. So it is a great strategy for a lot of people. I don't do it, but just to mention, this would have been a great short because it did hit that 52.20 perfectly at that high quarterly pivot and then immediately dropped down to around 50. Now it's sitting around 49, but huge growth today for SFIX. I do think, again, this is like, obviously it was based on the earnings call that they had after hours yesterday, but it is a very emotional growth that we're seeing. So with that being said, I'm going to be looking at that ticker to see further movement and possibly another emotional drop and dips to see if maybe that's a one to buy. But honestly, that one has always kind of been on my radar since it's a great blend of technology and retail. The other top movers today, Netflix is down 4%. I did have some buy levels in for Netflix this morning. They didn't quite get there, but for those of you looking to make like a long-term Netflix, long-term Netflix investment, I would go with a price point around $509.80. I think it'll, definitely drop back down to there within the next week or so you can get your order filled. I think that's a really great fill for, like I said, a long-term investment. For the short-term swing investor that I am, I'm going to go ahead and pass on this one today. But because of the recent movement we've seen this week already, I'm going to have it on my radar. So watch out for that. Tollhouse, Toll. This was a ticker that I thought about purchasing this morning. Unfortunately, it didn't get as low as I thought it was going to go. And it is down 8% today. So I had a buy order down at 43.40. The lowest it hit was 44.60. So didn't get to that level. I'm going to be watching it tomorrow off the open. Obviously, they had a little bit of an earnings miss, but it's still a great ticker. So decent volume. So I will look at that tomorrow. So that being said, with the market, we've had a lot of gainers today, and I was able to sell a couple of really exciting swings. So let's first talk about Peloton, PTON. For those of you who are still holding Peloton, that's great. If this is a long-term investment, or even something that you're looking to hold for a year or so, don't sell. I do feel like this company has definitely room to grow, but with my swing trading strategy, it got to what I was looking for, so I went ahead and sold. My average was 112.79. I sold for 116.30, so 3.51 gain on that. Very happy with that gain for a swing trade. Then we have JKS. Of course, like always, I'm still building up my confidence, you guys. And as I get more and more listeners, I just feel more and more pressure. So I think I told you guys with JKS to don't buy this one. I think I said that with Peloton too. It's risky. I just, want to make sure that you guys are being safe. And I just don't want people like blindly following me now that I'm like getting up in the hundreds of listeners. So thank you guys so much for listening and supporting the podcast. I really appreciate it. It's been so fun to share my trades with you. And seeing the effect that this has on my personal trades is also very revealing. I'm a little bit, unconfident to tell you, yes, buy this, because obviously I want you guys to be safe. And in this JKS swing, I did sell a little bit earlier. I offloaded some shares a little bit earlier to take a smaller profit instead of sticking to that high target that I had. So it's just a lesson learned. I heard from a listener that they were also in JKS. So that put another spin on it for me. And I just wanted them to, make sure to sell at their level. And I wanted to sell at a good level. So anyways, that being said, the ticker I bought the solar company at 59.29. My average sell was at 60.99. That's because, again, I started offloading some of this stock at a lower level as it moved towards my target. My highest sell level was at 61.40. And honestly, I should have just sold it all there. I should have held and then sold it all there. So again, just lesson learned, but never really beat yourself up at the end of the day for taking a profit. I know traders today who lost money in the toll trade this morning. They bought too early and it kept on dropping. They lost money. I know people who have lost money consistently in other trades every single day. Day trading and swing trading is hard. Yes, it can be very profitable, but it's not free money. If it were easy, then everyone would do it and everyone would be successful. So if you're out there and you are grinding it out, trading every day like I am, or even if you're a casual trader, just do not get this like fear that like you're going to miss out on the huge profit. If you're taking a profit from the market, you are absolutely winning. Think of all of the people who don't have their money in a stock market or don't have any money in the stock market. They just have it sitting in a savings account doing nothing. So, good for you guys who are out there trading, making small profits and taking money while you can. Plus, every time you sell, that's more money that you can put back into your account to pick up on another trade. So the last sell that I want to talk about is AYX. I love this ticker. I have been buying and selling this technology stock for the past 3 months. It's just proven to have such a great big spread, volume when I need it, and very, very great for my pivot strategy as well. So my average for this stock was 118.49. I sold today for 121.59, right at the weekly pivot point. Of course, as soon as I hit that point, I made that sale. It did go down. Now it's sitting around 120 at the end of the market. So definitely, I love seeing these pivot points. It reaffirms my strategy, and I know that was a great sell point for this. But I love AYX, so I'll probably be buying this one as soon as it drops again. So we'll keep an eye on it. The last trade I want to mention today is with DADA. It's DADA. I told you guys already that this is a swing trade that I entered into. I knew at the point that I entered that I entered early and it still had a while to go. That being said, I know that my sell level is high. It's at 54.55. So I didn't feel bad entering this trade early because, again, I feel like it will get there. This might be one of my longer held swing trades. However, I'm happy to hold it, again, because I feel very confident in this trade. So it is, dropping through my pivot points, though, fairly quickly. I bought today at, where is it here, at 39.60. So that was the latest level that I bought at. It's already, sitting a little bit above that. The last buy I have in is at 37.65. There is a double pivot there with the monthly pivot and the weekly pivot. And I'm hoping that it will probably get there tomorrow and bounce back up. If not, if it continues to go lower, I will have to reevaluate this trade. Although, I am pretty well sized in, and I do expect this again to rise. So I'm excited to watch this one with you guys. My average is now at 42.50, so still a little higher average than, some people who obviously maybe bought today at 39.60, or even at the point that I called out for the podcast at 41.30. But I'm still, again, just happy with this trade, and I'm gonna, go ahead and hold it. It's just been a few days, and again, I am targeting the $54 spot for that trade. So that was it. I really wish I could have bought more today because honestly, I have the cash in my account, but it's kind of like I said at the open, it's hitting all-time highs. So that's another thing with a market like this. It makes it a little bit more difficult to buy these swings with the S&P just hitting these all-time high records. So as a swing trader, honestly, I'm hoping that the market starts to drop, and we'll see. So you guys just stay tuned. Keep in mind that I am recording the podcast live on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on YouTube. I'll put the link below if you want to see the podcast first, and again, just see me live in person. Then please go ahead and subscribe, like the video, watch those videos. I have past recordings on there as well. And stay tuned for an exciting week. I'm going to be looking like a hawk off the open tomorrow. As I mentioned, I've got some cash, especially with all those sells. So let's look and go shopping tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you all for watching another live recording of the Are You Green podcast. Please feel free to comment below. Let me know what trades you're doing. Let me know if you have any questions about what I would do in certain scenarios with certain tickers. I love to have these kind of conversations with you guys. And as always, as I just mentioned on the podcast, please subscribe, like, follow, listen to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And I'll see you guys at another live recording tomorrow. Bye.